Let me begin by saying something that's absolutely vital. You cannot attract what you are not prepared for. That's not just a motivational phrase. It's a fundamental law of reality. Life doesn't give you what you want. It gives you what you are ready to handle. You can desire abundance all day long. If your mind isn't trained to hold it, nurture it, and grow with it, that abundance will slip through your fingers like sand. If you want wealth, real wealth, the kind that builds not just a bank account, but a life of meaning, freedom, and impact, then you must start with the battlefield of the mind. This is where the seeds of fortune are either planted or poisoned. Wealth doesn't come to those who simply wait with folded hands or who daydream without action. It comes to those who prepare in silence, who work while others sleep, and who build mental strength day by day. You've got to think better by elevating your mindset. Live better by cultivating habits that match the life you want, and expect better by raising the standard of what you allow in your life. That's the real beginning of the journey to wealth, not a hustle, not a scheme, but a complete transformation from the inside out. Wealth is not something you pursue like a desperate hunter chasing after an elusive prey. Let me say that again. Wealth is not something you chase, because when you chase it, you send a signal that it's something outside of you. Something you're disconnected from, something that's running away, and what runs from years doesn't belong to you. But when you become the kind of person who naturally attracts wealth, then it no longer eludes you. It gravitates toward you. It recognizes you. It belongs to you. This isn't magic. This is alignment. It's like planting a seed in fertile soil. No matter how badly you want that seed to grow, you can't pull it out of the earth and demand fruit before it's time. It needs care. It needs nurturing. You must water it daily with your discipline, nourish it with your mindset, and give it the sunlight of focused action. You become the soil in which wealth grows, not just once but continually. Wealth flows to those who prepare the environment for it, who make their life a magnet for opportunity, and who embody the energy of abundance even before the results show up. Your mind is not just a tool, it is the factory of your future. Every thought is a design. Every belief is a blueprint, and every word you speak becomes the architecture of your reality. If you walk around with a poverty mindset, telling yourself stories of lack, limitation, and fear, then don't be surprised when scarcity knocks at your door and stays for dinner. Scarcity is loyal to those who invite it. But if you decide to reprogram your mind with discipline, that keeps you focused, with gratitude, that rewires your brain to see what's already good, and with vision that pulls you into the future, then you start becoming a magnet for miracles. Thoughts are not just invisible clouds. They are magnets. Negative thoughts just make you feel bad. They attract defeat, hesitation, and missed chances. But positive, grounded, empowered thoughts, they call in opportunities. They align you with success. They are like open gates through which wealth walks in. Start thinking like a person who has already won, and the world begins to respond in kind. Now here's the real key. Wealth starts with value. You don't get paid because time passes. You don't earn just by showing up. You get paid for the value you bring to the marketplace, to the people, to the world. Time is the same for all of us, 24 hours a day. But what you do in those hours, that's the difference maker. Value is created, not inherited. And how do you increase your value? You increase your mind. You feed it with the right knowledge. You challenge it with hard questions. You train it to think beyond the ordinary, to see possibilities where others see problems. You develop rare and sought-after skills, not just ones that pay but ones that solve. You read the right books, the ones that stretch your thinking. You listen to the right voices, the ones that challenge you, not just comfort you. You sharpen your tools until you become so valuable that people chase you. Opportunity knock uninvited, and wealth becomes inevitable. You see, if someone hands you $1 million, you'd better hurry up and become a millionaire in your mindset. Because if your mind isn't calibrated for that level of responsibility and opportunity, the money will vanish as quickly as it appeared. That's not speculation. That's proven by reality. Just look at lottery winners. Many of them go broke, not because of bad luck, but because their mindset didn't match their bank account. They received wealth without the identity to sustain it. Their environment changed, but their inner world stayed the same, small, scared, and untrained. That money was a guest in a home that wasn't prepared, so it left. To hold on to wealth, you must become someone who doesn't just know how to make it, but how to respect it, grow it, and multiply it. The outside will always mirror the inside, so if you want $1 million bank account, build $1 million mind. One of the most profound turning points in my life came when I stopped looking outside for wealth and started looking within. I realized that wealth isn't some treasure hidden in the world, it's something you grow into. I started treating my mind like a garden. Every day I would inspect it. I pulled out the weeds, those ugly patterns of doubt, procrastination, fear, and low self-worth. I stopped tolerating them like they were harmless. They were thieves. And then I began planting seeds. Discipline, confidence, consistency, vision, wisdom. It wasn't overnight, but slowly the garden began to change. The thoughts were clearer. The direction became sharper. And just like that, the harvest changed. Opportunities started to appear. People started to respect the value I brought. The universe responded differently because I was different. Wealth isn't just about dollars, it's about freedom. It's about being able to wake up in the morning and choose what to do with your day. It's about having the means to serve those you love, to contribute meaningfully, and to live your life on purpose, not by default. But here's the truth. The door to that kind of life is guarded by your daily habits. Your habits are cheap, impulsive, and reactive. Then don't be surprised when life gives you results to match. If you're asking for abundance but practicing scarcity, fearing to invest, avoiding growth, cutting corners and settling, you're speaking two different languages, and life only speaks one alignment. If you want wealth, you must practice wealth daily, not just with money but with how you think, how you speak, how you show up. Be generous with your ideas, be abundant with your effort, be rich in discipline. You've got to change your philosophy. That's the unshakable foundation. I used to be broke, not just in my wallet but in my mindset. My thoughts were small, my habits were weak, and my expectations were low. Then one day someone said something so simple yet so piercing. Jim, for things to change, you've got to change. That one sentence hit me like it shattered the illusion that my life was anyone else's responsibility. I stopped blaming. I stopped waiting and I started becoming. I realized I had the power all along. I just wasn't using it. Don't wish it were easier. Life doesn't respond to that. Wish you were better. Wish you were more disciplined, more focused, more determined. Then turn that wish into a plan and that plan into a daily practice. That's how transformation happens. The wealthy aren't just lucky. They are intentional. They don't drift through life hoping for better days. They design better days. They read when others sleep. They study when others scroll. They act while others doubt, or are students of success, architects of their future. They use their evenings not for entertainment but for elevation. If you want to attract wealth, don't start with your job, your city, or your circumstances. Start with the mirror. That's the place where wealth is born. That's the source of everything that comes next. Because your outer world will always reflect your inner world. Clean the mirror, polish it with truth, and prepare to meet a version of yourself that was wealthy all along. Here's what I recommend. Build a personal development library that becomes the cornerstone of your mental wealth. This isn't just about collecting books. It's about constructing a vault of wisdom that will shape your future. Read biographies of people who started with nothing and built empires, not just to admire them but to understand their patterns, decisions, values, and habits. Study wealth building principles not once but again and again until they're etched into your daily thinking. Listen to audio programs that don't just entertain you but challenge your current assumptions, push your limitations, and cause you to reflect on where you're going and how you're thinking. Attend seminars that don't just inform you but stretch you mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. Surround yourself with content and conversations that make mediocrity uncomfortable. Why? Because you ultimately become the result of what you consistently expose your mind to. Your external world is a mirror of your internal If you fill your environment with thoughts of growth, discipline, strategy, and abundance, then your life will eventually mirror those exact qualities. If you want to attract wealth, surround your mind with the kind of ideas that cultivate prosperity at the root, not just the surface. Also be extremely careful, deliberately careful about the words you speak. Your words are not just random sounds, they are declarations, scripts, blueprints of your beliefs. Every time you casually say, "I can't afford that," or "that's too expensive," you're not just describing your current situation, you are solidifying it. Your subconscious mind does not interpret sarcasm or humor. It takes every word as an instruction, and so over time it begins to construct a reality that matches the language you use most frequently. That's why you need to change your vocabulary. If you want to change your life, instead of saying I can't, train yourself to ask how can I? That single shift in phrasing takes you from a mindset of limitation to one of curiosity and possibility. It keeps your mental doors open instead of shut. Your words shape your focus, and your focus determines your future. Language is powerful, so speak in a way that invites abundance, not scarcity. Speak as if your words are casting votes for the kind of life you want to live, because they are. You must also learn to discipline your emotions with the same intensity as you train your mind. Emotional discipline is one of the most underrated yet powerful wealth magnets. Wealth is not attracted to emotional chaos. It is attracted to those who remain steady, calm and focused under pressure. Anyone can be positive when things are going well, but it's the person who maintains clarity and poise during adversity who will rise to new levels. If you panic every time there's a dip in the market or a downturn in your business, you'll repel the very opportunities that lead to success. Crisis is the breeding ground for greatness, but only for the emotionally prepared. The calm mind sees what the panicked mind misses. So don't just train your intellect with books. Train your spirit with practice. Meditate, reflect, build resilience. Emotional intelligence isn't just about being nice. It's about navigating storms without letting them capsize you. It's the inner thermostat that regulates your reactions and keeps your focus sharp in the middle of chaos. Master your emotion. You position yourself as a leader, a creator and a magnet for opportunity. Here's something crucial: start practicing generosity now, not later. Don't wait until you've made it to give. Don't tell yourself you'll donate when you have more, or serve when it's convenient. Giving is not an action reserved for the wealthy. It's a habit that creates wealth. When you give from where you are, you declare to the universe, I live in abundance, not fear. The poor mindset clutches hoards and shrinks in scarcity. It says there's not enough, but the wealthy mindset flows knowing that resources are infinite. Value multiplies when shared. Give your time, your wisdom, your encouragement, your resources freely, with joy. It creates a current and energetic circulation that not only helps others but expands your own capacity to receive. And don't underestimate how generosity trains your identity. Every time you give, you reinforce the belief that you have more than enough. You condition yourself for overflow, and in that spirit of giving, doors will open, relationships will deepen, and true lasting wealth will find its way to you. Surround yourself with winners, people who lift you higher just by being your life, people who think big, talk solutions instead of problems, dream audaciously, and then execute with relentless passion. You don't rise in isolation, and you rise through association. If your circle is filled with complainers, skeptics, gossipers and excuse makers, don't be surprised when you've stuck and uninspired. Their energy is contagious, and it will infect your thinking, stifle your ambition, and slowly drag you back into mediocrity. But when you intentionally spend time with high achievers, visionaries and relentless executives, something shifts. You think differently, you act differently. You start to believe that bigger things are not only possible but probable. That's why you must choose your associations with the same care you choose a financial investment, because that's exactly what they are. You are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. Make sure those 5 are pushing you, not pulling you back. Elevate your environment and your entire life trajectory changes. Every morning before the chaos of the world invades your space, prime your mind for abundance. Don't just stumble into your day hoping it goes well. Design it intentionally before the news starts. Shouting problems and social media floods you with noise. Take time to program your focus. Meditate in silence to clear the mental clutter. Read something empowering that speaks to your goals. Journal your intentions, your gratitude, and your vision for the future. Speak affirmations that anchor your identity and remind you of who you're becoming. These are not empty rituals. They are mental conditioning. They build your resilience, your clarity, and your alignment. You don't create wealth just by grinding harder. You create it by thinking sharper. A primed mind makes better decisions, sees hidden opportunities, and responds to challenges with strength, not stress. Make it a habit to enter the day on purpose, not by accident. That's how you build momentum. That's how you tune your frequency to match wealth. And that's how wealth starts moving towards you. Here's the truth. Money is merely a tool. It does not create character. It reveals it. It doesn't make you better or worse. It magnifies who you already are. If you are wise, money will multiply your wisdom. If you're foolish, money will amplify your mistakes. That's why the true work of wealth building doesn't start in your wallet. It starts in your character.
The goal isn't just to make money, it's to become the kind of person who can handle it responsibly, purposefully and ethically. You must develop discipline so that money doesn't control you. You must develop vision so that money serves your mission. You must develop humility so that wealth doesn't make you arrogant, but generous. You've got to train your mind, sharpen your values, and build a foundation strong enough to hold success. Because if you skip this step, you may get rich, but you won't stay rich. Wealth flows to those who are prepared to manage it with wisdom and integrity. Let me close by saying this: there is no secret formula. The truth has always been simple and it hasn't changed. The formula for wealth, abundance, and transformation is ancient and time-tested. Work harder on yourself than you do on your job. Your career might give you income, but personal growth gives you increase. Expand your mind, stretch your belief system, upgrade your habits. Take absolute responsibility for every area of your life. Abandon blame, comparison, and excuses. Take full ownership of your thoughts, your choices, and your future. Act with consistent discipline even when it's inconvenient. Above all, believe deeply, unshakably, that abundance is not reserved for the few. It is available to those who are prepared, willing, and ready to rise to meet it. Train your mind, my friend, not just once but daily. Train it with precision, with intention, and with hunger, because when your mind is truly ready, wealth won't just be a distant dream. It'll be a faithful companion, not a stranger, but a